Hello and welcome to Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Joel Wiltshire and I'm your worship associate for today. I'm joined this morning by our minister, Reverend Sian Wiltshire, Steve Murhiro and Susan Shaw, our co-music directors, and Danielle Lewis, our Director of Religious Education for Children and Youth, in welcoming you this morning. I want to extend a special welcome to visitors. If you are seeking a spiritual home, we hope you will find it here. We are a community of many different beliefs. We are bound together, not by dogmas or creeds, but by a covenant to create a welcoming, inclusive, and loving community. We need not think alike to love alike. In the spirit of building this community, let's recognize the many volunteers who have helped to put this service together today. Okay, I didn't say applaud. They aren't that great. Roomers, we invite you to silence your cell phones. And Zoomers, we invite you to say hello in the chat. As we worship today, let us acknowledge that our church property rests on the sacred ancestral homelands of the Ahachiman and Tongva people who seek justice and responsible stewardship. So we begin our worship with the lighting of our chalice as we say our unison affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. This we affirm together. Okay, please rise in body or spirit and join in singing our opening song.
Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whoever you love, we welcome you. Wherever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whoever you love, we welcome you. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whoever you love, we welcome you. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you.
Well, today we are talking about the gifts of Unitarian Universalism. Now you might be asking yourself, why? Isn't it a little self-serving? And I want to explain to you with a story. So back when I was in seminary up in Seattle, my home congregation was this very small Unitarian Universalist church, maybe 30 or 40 people on a good Sunday. And at one point, their board member asked me to put together some stories about what it meant to be a Unitarian Universalist, because honestly, this tiny little congregation really didn't think of themselves as part of a larger denomination. They were just their own little community. And I called this project UU Parables. I was very proud of that. I told one of my favorite people, Mike, what I was going to do. And instead of saying, oh, great, that sounds interesting, he looked at me kind of like, so you aren't just going to say nice things about Unitarian Universalism, are you? As if noticing what is good about our tradition was somehow, I don't know, weird or dishonest or something, as if to say, don't blow sunshine up my bum. I was kind of taken aback, and I really didn't know what to say. I was like, well, okay. But I have an answer today. Here's my answer. Why, yes, I am. I am going to blow sunshine up your collective bums this morning. Because here's the thing, all year long we've been exploring the gifts of various world religions, right? Buddhism, Judaism, Islam, animism, Confucianism, Christianity, every different one. Each time I've tried to look at that tradition at its best, right? Not at what it does perfectly, because no tradition does anything perfectly. No religion has it all figured out, but at their best, they each carry something that the world needs, and they have gifts. So today, it's our turn. Let the sun shine in.
Please join me in singing. Let us rise in love and justice. Let us heed the prophet's call. May the faithfulness of every soul bring hope for us all. Love is already won. Love has already won. Just as sure as the day greets the morning sun. Love has already won. Love has already won. Be not afraid. Love has already won. Be not afraid. Love has already won.
So did you notice that you just joined the choir? So if you want to do that on a permanent basis, you want to see Steve and Susan after the service? I'm just kidding. All right. All right. How many of you here can tell me what the First Amendment of the United States is? Free speech. Free speech? What else? Freedom of religion? What is it? Freedom of the press? Yeah? And freedom of assembly. Thank you very much. Excellent. All right, it's a really important amendment, right? So it says that we have freedom of speech, the press can write without fear of retaliation, and that we have the right to assemble, all of those things. And the most important one for us this morning is that it guarantees all the freedom of religion, that everyone has the right to believe what they want, and that the government cannot establish a religion to make everyone believe the same thing. Okay. Unless, if you hear otherwise, they're wrong, okay? All right, well, if you've ever wondered where the founders may have gotten this idea of freedom of religion in particular, and I have a theory that they might actually have gotten it from us Unitarians. And that's our story for this morning, because once upon a time, which was actually about 450 years ago, There was a minister, his name was Francis David, or we call him Francis David, it was actually Frederick David. He lived in a small kingdom in Europe called Transylvania. Yes, that is a real place. It is not just from vampire movies. And at this time, it was kind of at a crossroads of a bunch of different countries. It simply means, Transylvania means, across into the woods, okay? Now, David was someone who changed his mind a lot about religion as he was growing up. He started out as a Catholic because, well, that was really the only one religion at the time. But then he became a Lutheran, right? There was the Protestant thing happening. He became a Lutheran, which was still sort of Christian, but he believed very different from the Catholics. But he couldn't decide, and he kept following his conscience wherever that led him. And he started reading the Bible himself rather than relying on what the Catholics or the Lutherans told him what it meant. And he started asking questions that at that time people were usually too afraid to ask. And the more that he read, the more he realized that he was a Unitarian. This meant that he disagreed with both the Catholics and the Lutherans, okay? So at that time, 450 years ago, thinking differently got most people actually in a lot of trouble. It actually got them killed. It was a horrible time called the Inquisition, which meant that people who were getting hurt and getting killed for asking the wrong questions. And sometimes the Catholics were the bullies, and sometimes it was the Lutherans. But in Transylvania, they had a king named John Sigismund. And King John was something rare in the 16th century. He was a king who was very curious, very open, and very kind. And get this, he was only 16 years old when he became king. His mother raised him to think of others and to think for himself. So he listened to David. He decided that David was very wise and made him his most important counselor. And in fact, King John liked what Francis David had to say about Unitarianism because became the first and only crowned Unitarian king in our history. We are definitely the no kings people. But when the king became a Unitarian, David told him, he said, not to make his kingdom only Unitarian. He argued that you can't force a person's conscience, that fear is not the way to understanding God. He argued that we shouldn't put people in chains just because they asked questions or had different ideas. And the king listened to him. So on January 13th in 1568, a long time ago, King John decided to change the law, and he signed what is known as the Edict of Torda. An edict is a kind of law. And this law was the first law in the history of the Western world to say that people could not be imprisoned or punished for their religious beliefs. The law said that preachers could teach what they believed to be true, the congregation should be allowed to follow their own understanding, and that no one should be threatened or harmed for what they believed. Now that was 200 years before the First Amendment of the United States. And the Edict of Torda didn't last long, neither did King John or Francis, unfortunately, but that seed had been planted out there. And seeds are they're tough, right? They usually have like a hard shell around them, right? They're very hard to get rid of, particularly good idea seeds. And that seed grew into something. It grew into our tradition of Unitarianism that spread across Europe and then to the United States. And our tradition says that you have the right to make up your own mind and believe what you want to believe. And in fact, we encourage questions. And it may have also planted a seed in the founders of our country. So they put it in our First Amendment to our Constitution. You know, Francis David said once, "We need not think alike to love alike." And we say that still in this church almost every single week. It captures so well what this church is all about. That's what happens to great ideas. They continually plant seeds, and we are the ones who help them grow. And that is our story for today. So I'd like to invite Danielle up here to light our children's chalice, and we will sing them out to the religious exploration classes. by Forrest Church, Reverend Forrest Church. He is a Unitarian minister. He's passed away. But he was kind of a famous one in our modern era. And he wrote this sort of famous book called The Cathedral of the World. And this is basically what he was saying in it. Imagine the world as a vast cathedral. This cathedral is as ancient as humankind. Its cornerstone is the first altar, marked with the tincture of blood and blessed by tears. Search for a lifetime, and we shall never know its limits. Visit all of its transepts, worship at its myriad shrines, nor span its celestial ceiling with our gaze. As you look at this cathedral, above all else, contemplate the windows. In the windows of the cathedral of the world, there are windows beyond number, some long forgotten, covered with many patinas of dust, others revered by millions, the most sacred of shrines. Each in its own way is beautiful. Some windows are abstract, others representational, some dark and meditative, others bright and dazzling. Each tells a story about the creation of the world, the meaning of history, the purpose of life, the nature of humankind, the mystery of death. The windows of the cathedral are where the light shines through. As with all extended metaphors, this one is imperfect, he continues. The light of God, or truth, or being itself, shines not only upon us, but out from within us as well. Together with the windows, we are part of the cathedral, not apart from it. Together we comprise an interdependent web of being. The cathedral is constructed out of star stuff, and so are we. We are that part of creation that contemplates itself, because the cathedral is so vast and our life so short and our vision so dim, we are able to contemplate only a tiny part of the whole creation. We can explore but a handful of its many chambers. Our allotted span permits us to reflect on the play of darkness and light through remarkably few of its myriad windows. Yet since the whole is contained in each of its parts, as we ponder and act on insights derived from even a single reflection, we may experience self-illumination. We may also discover or invent meanings that invest both the creation and our lives with coherence and meaning. The 21st century theology based on the concept of one light, that is Unitarianism, and many windows, Universalism, offers to its adherents both breadth and focus. Honoring many different religious approaches, it excludes only the truth claims of absolutists. This is because fundamentalists, whether on the right or left, claim that the light shines through their window only. Skeptics draw the opposite conclusion. Seeing the bewildering variety of windows and observing the folly of the worshipers, they conclude that there is no light. But the windows are not the light, only where the light shines through. Thus ends our reading. I want to invite you into a time of meditation, and just take a deep breath if you like. Get a little comfortable, soften your eyes, or close them if you like. And I just want to invite you to consider his words. And, he said that the 21st century theology based on the concept of one light and many windows, Unitarianism and Universalism, offers its adherents both breadth and focus. But what for you is the light? What is that light? And what windows do you particularly look through? When you're ready, I want to invite you to join Maureen in singing.
Be ours a religion which like sunshine goes everywhere. Its temple all space, its shrine the good heart, its creed all truth, its ritual works of love. Be ours a religion which like sunshine goes everywhere, its temple all space, its shrine the good heart, its creed all truth, its ritual works of love.
Y'all ready for some sunshine? All right, well, I first have a little caveat, a little bit of a cloud. Because I want to say right from the start what I said about the other religions is that Unitarian Universalism isn't perfect, right? We have at times failed to live our values, and we have at various moments in our history been too comfortable, too much a club for a certain kind of educated liberal. Saying something is a gift does not mean that we deliver that gift flawlessly. I like to think of Unitarian Universalism this way. It's like the United States of America is a set of ideals, like democracy or life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The United States is not the government. In some ways, it's not even us, the people, because we constantly fail or fall short of these ideals, and sometimes particularly short, but they are the bedrock, these ideals, the grounding of this country, and they're worth fighting for. And Unitarian Universalism is the same. It's a set of ideals, something we always strive for, sometimes falling short of, and always being called back to. So, all right, let's look at our gifts. This is Sean's ideas, by the way. You can feel free to have your own, because I personally think that we rock. Okay. All right. And there we go. Here we go. No, back one. Okay. So gift number one is our covenant model. Now, most religious traditions, when they ask you to belong, ask you to first affirm something, right? You have to believe something. Believe these things about God, about salvation, about the afterlife, and then you get to be in. Most secular communities, on the other hand, hold people together with maybe shared interests or shared politics. And those turn out to be fairly thin glue when life gets complicated or the world gets hard. But Unitarian Universalists have spent almost 2 centuries now building something genuinely rare, a pluralistic covenantal community. We ask people to commit not to beliefs, but how they will be with one another, right? Love is the spirit of our church. So let me just explain for a moment what a covenant is. It's an agreement about relationship. It's about how we show up for each other. And our country even has kind of a covenant in the Constitution, right? It does not tell us what to think. Instead, it tells us how to behave, how we're going to treat one another. So a covenant is deeper in many ways than a contract. A contract says, you do this, and then we'll do this for you, right? And a covenant says, I am committing to you, to us, to this church, even when it's hard. Sometimes especially when it's hard. And a covenant is not unique to us. The Jewish community has a covenant, but theirs is a little bit different. Theirs is a vertical covenant. Theirs is a covenant with their God. Ours is horizontal with one another. So it's not a God asking us to behave nicely like the 10 Commandments, which are really good, but it's us, though, who are asking each other. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love. You know the rest. Okay. In UU congregations, we do not ask you to check your questions at the door. We do not ask you to pretend to believe things you do not believe or to say a creed. We would simply ask, will you show up? Will you treat each person with dignity, compassion, and curiosity? Will you stay in relationship even when we disagree? And in this era of the epidemic of loneliness going on and this ferocious polarization, this idea of people of all different beliefs coming together, this is really pretty radical, right? It is a model that the world needs desperately. It's desperately searching for it without knowing what to call it. And while most of in our country can barely hold a conversation across differences, particularly political differences, we have been stubbornly practicing the art of staying together while disagreeing. It means recognizing that we're more than just our thoughts, that every person carries dignity and worth, and that love, not agreement, is at the center of what holds us together. And I know that many people come here and they say, well, I want to be with like-minded people, right? And I get that. I know what they're trying to say and everything, right? But really, we don't actually think alike. We all think, believe, and have opinions that are very different from one another. And believe me, the board and I hear about those differences quite a bit. What we all do, however, is to hold love at the center to our shared values. As Francis David said, we need not think alike to love alike. That is our covenant in 8 words. And those 8 words are exactly what the world really needs right now. Okay, whoops, I went backwards. Number 2. We don't limit wisdom or where wisdom comes from. Tell you a little story. So when I was in my early 30s, I felt this strong pull to be in a spiritual community. I didn't know what that would mean, so I tried everything. I tried Judaism and Quakers and Christianity, New Age workshops, Buddhism, and I tried it all. And every tradition that I explored had something wonderful, something luminous about it that is unique, all those gifts that I mentioned to you. And every tradition at some point wanted me to accept their story as the story, right? And I kept thinking essentially, why would I limit myself to one window when there's so much light coming through so many different windows? Forest Church imagined the world as a vast cathedral with windows beyond number, each one different, each one letting light through in its own way. But the windows are not the light. They are just where the light shines through, offering different colors and shapes. And I think that's one of our gifts, is that's what we understand as Unitarian Universalists. You can sit in a service where you've got a Buddhist meditation, a Jewish prayer, a passage from the Christian Gospels, a poem by Rumi, and a piece of evolutionary biology all appearing in the same hour. I'm going to try that. In our worship, nobody has to be excluded for everyone to belong. Wisdom for us is larger than just one container. We practice what Forest Church called disciplined humility. We try to practice disciplined humility, the willingness to look at and learn from other traditions respectfully. Our country and even parts of the world are being torn apart by people absolutely convinced that the light shines through their window only. I think the world needs for us disciplined humility. It needs to recognize the beauty of these windows, even if it wants to look only at one. And there's nothing wrong with choosing one path or one window. It's only when religions refuse to even acknowledge that there are other windows that they get dangerous. And the one window, one path is not for everyone. And our vision, our one light through many windows, is probably one of the biggest reasons why people are drawn to Unitarian Universalism. Our pluralistic, diverse world shows us that wisdom cannot be captured by any one tradition, any one person, or even one scientific discipline. And those that recognize this kind of truth, right, they want to explore all the way that the light shines. And I really hope they find us, because we have so much to offer them and the world. I remember when I first was looking for Unitarian Universalism, I had no idea that something like this existed. No idea. I'm still pissed off about that we aren't out there. My whole life I could have been here. Okay. All right. Gift number 3. We marry reason and reverence. I'll illustrate this with a story too. When I was an intern in Nashville, Tennessee, I filled in for the senior minister who went on sabbatical for 6 months. And I was really nervous to preach my first sermon as the lead minister, right? It was on spiritual practices. And knowing that there were people of all kinds of beliefs sitting in the same room, I worked really hard to balance spiritual language with sort of secular language. And I thought I'd done a really pretty good job. So after the service, as I'm sitting there gathering my things, I watch a figure who kind of walked by me. His name was John. And he's one of those crusty humanists that you get in a lot of UU congregations, you know, kind of gruff. Bertie, you know who I'm talking about, Charlie, yeah. He turned to me and he said gruffly, "A lot of God talk in that sermon." And he walked off. And I stood there, I'm like, what did I say? Oh my God, did I do to him? You know, I'm trying to figure out what upset him. And I feel this little tug on the back of my shirt behind me, and I turn around, and there's Shirley. Now, Shirley's one of our traditional Christian Universalists, and she's dressed in her Sunday best with her hat and everything, and she's glaring at me with her walker. And I'm like, hi, Shirley. And she says, "I can't believe that you did a whole sermon on spiritual practices and didn't mention God once." Welcome to Unitarian Universalism, Sean. Here's what I have learned since then. First, I am never going to please everyone, okay? Just never going to happen. But second is that science and reverence can and do walk hand in hand. It feels like the modern world has split itself into like these two camps or something like that sometimes. On the one side, you've got people who believe that rigorous intellectual life requires leaving religious sensibilities behind entirely. And on the other hand, you've got people who believe that genuine faith requires protecting belief from hard questions. Science versus spirit, reason versus reverence. Pick a side. But you know, Unitarian Universalism, it goes all the way back to the Enlightenment roots. That's where we have it. And Transcendentalism. And has refused to split those. You can take science seriously and still believe in something holy guiding you. You could be a theist who finds walking in nature the most spiritual thing you can do. You can sit with mystery without abandoning your critical mind. In fact, you could sit with mystery and not even give it a name. The millions of people who describe themselves as spiritual but not religious often mean they want exactly this combination, right? And they don't know that it already has a home. Still driving me crazy. Okay. The marriage of reason and reverence is not easy, right? As John and Shirley would tell you, it will not please everyone every time, but both of them belong here. Both are central to who we are. And rather than always trying to find that perfect balance, what I've learned to do is trust that each sermon is different, and sometimes it will lean one way or another. And whatever never changes, however, is that we've always offered it with respect and always with love. And when we're at our best, we make room for others in the service to get what they need, even if it isn't maybe something that you needed. I call this liturgical generosity. It's a very fancy way of saying not every sermon or reading or song is going to be for you. Sometimes it's for someone else who needed it. But come next Sunday, because maybe that one will be. All right. Liturgical generosity. I love saying that. All right. Gift number 4. We bend the arc of justice early and often. So speaking of liturgical generosity, I know that there's some people here, at least some of the time, wish that I would leave politics out of my sermons. After all, people come here to breathe, to get away from the noise and the news, the vitriol, the fear, the anxiety. And I totally understand that, because sometimes I want to get away from it too. But our tradition is not about hiding from the world. It's about living our values in the world. And our shared values of justice and equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity, all with love at the center, ask us to do just that. We affirm the dignity and worth of every human being, and we can't do that by turning a blind eye to the dehumanization of immigrants or trans folks, right? We cannot promote democracy, equity, and justice if we don't talk about the corruption and fascism that's eroding our country. And we're always trying to find ways to widen the circle of love, again and again. We have been at the forefront of justice issues. We were early for abolition and slavery in this country. We're early to the suffrage movement, even ordaining the first woman minister in a denomination, Olympia Brown. We were early to sheltering freedom seekers through the Underground Railroad, early to the Selma Bridge where UU minister James Reeb was murdered for the simple act of showing up. We were early to performing same-sex unions decades before they were legally recognized as marriage. In fact, the case that went before the Supreme Court for marriage equality came from 2 UUs. We went early to inviting the LGBTQ plus ministers as leaders in our congregations. And did we do it all perfectly? Of course not. But the pattern is obvious. Right, we've always been about widening the circle of love even when it wasn't popular. And it can be uncomfortable being out in the front, leading the charge on social justice issues. It means that sometimes we clash with our friends and family and with each other. It means that we can sometimes be called alarmist or extreme or even weird. It means that sometimes we don't always get it right, but the gift really is in the demonstration, repeated across centuries, that a religious community can choose the harder, more inclusive moral position before the wider culture is ready for it. Every time we bend the arc of justice, that circle widens a little bit more. And widening the circle is what love asks of us. So I'm sorry to say, for you weary few, that I will never stop preaching about justice, because like our other gifts, it is core to who we are, and I will also strive to do it always with love. So this morning we walked through 4 things I believe about Unitarian Universalism that it offers the world. That is a covenant that holds people together across deep deference, wisdom that's drawn from every tradition that carries light, a refusal to choose between the mind and the spirit, and a faith that keeps showing up for justice even when it's hard. And the world needs these gifts, I think, desperately. For us, church, imagine us not as observers standing outside the cathedral, but as part of the structure itself. We are part of what carries the light. We are the ones who bring the gifts out into the world. We are the seed planters. Francis David planted one of the first seeds, and that seed grew into a tradition, which grew into a denomination, which grew into this congregation, which grew into you sitting here this morning. Seeds are stubborn things. So yes, today I blew a little sunshine up our collective mums, but we've earned it. And may we carry these gifts out into the world, because our faith is about our beautiful blue boat home, and it so desperately needs all of it. Amen and blessed be. Please join Soap and Zoe in singing one of our favorite songs.
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land sun my sail and moon my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning o'er the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred's pilgrim soul, making our way by the light of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on. That sounds good, guys. Sing the sky my sailor song. I've been born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Thank you.
Right? I hope you're all feeling good because we're going to pass the collection plate around. What I meant to say was Unitarian Universalist congregations are fully self-supporting, meaning that members and friends raise all funds for the operating budget, ministries, and programs of the church. We are ever grateful for your gifts of time, treasure, and talent. OCUC amplifies that spirit of generosity by sharing one half of the organization we receive with an organization that shares our values. This month, that is Share Ourselves, which is health, but they say health is everything, which is an absolutist claim, so I'm not sure about this, Reverend Sean. Well, I guess, regardless, they're a healthcare organization that provides comprehensive health and support services for the entire community, etc. There are multiple ways in which you can support the church and the organization. You can mail a check, you can go through our website, or you can use an app called Venco Mobile. If you are a roomer, you can also simply use the basket as it is passed. The choice is yours. All the information is on our website should you need it. And as always, thank you for your generosity.
To the shining skies,
the Spirit's gracious power, dreamed of good that yet shall be. Right the path before us lies. Joyful pilgrims now we rise. Life calls us on. 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 Life calls us on.
Nearly all of the songs that we have sung in today's service were written and composed by Unitarians or Unitarian Universalists, with one delightful exception. The tune for Blue Boat Home is called Hyfrydol, composed by Welsh musician Roland Pritchard in 1830 for his children's songbook. The word means delightful, beautiful, or melodious, and the tune certainly lives up to its name. Its presence here in our service today is a fitting reminder of another of the many gifts of the Unitarian Universalism. We draw inspiration from many sources. Please join in singing We Gather Together, written and composed by two of our own congregation members as an expression of gratitude for the many gifts that we share. We gather together, we gather as one, for peace, love, and justice for everyone. We give from our hearts to show that we care. We can change lives with what we share.
Well, now is the time in our service when we honor the important events and people in our lives. You are invited, one and all, whether you're a member, a friend, a visitor, absolutely everyone is welcome to join in this weekly ritual called Joys and Sorrows. And this is Nicole. She's one of our new pastoral care members. And she is going to help light the candles. And the idea is that if you come here today holding something in your heart, moments from the last days, weeks, or hours, something that struck you at your core, if you'd like to honor such a profound joy or sorrow, you are invited to do so. If you're a roomer, what you can do, you all are roomers here, you're invited to come forward to light your candle. And if you'd like to share your joy or sorrow out loud with the congregation, simply write it on a piece of paper that the ushers have. They can pass it out to you if you just raise your hand and wave. And then when you come up to light your candle, just hand it to me, and then I will read them out loud. Now, if you're a Zoomer, hi Zoomers, what you can do is you can type it into the chat. And then when I get done reading the ones here, what we'll do is I'll read yours out loud from the chat, and Nicole will light a candle for you. So I just invite then the roomers to come forward. And as music is played, I invite you to silently offer healing or celebration as you feel called and according to your own beliefs. Please come forward. All right. Oh, my goodness. Let's see here. All right. We have a lot of birthdays happening in the next week. So the first one I'd like to do is Linda C. She lit a candle of gratitude. She says, wishing a very happy birthday to my wonderful husband, Jim, who will turn 89 next week. Right on. And Jeffrey S., he lit a candle of joy. He said, I'd like to wish Soap and Zoe a happy birthday this Saturday, and we will celebrate all month long together. Yay. And check this out. Soap and Zoe lit a candle of joy because she'd like to wish Jeffrey a very happy birthday, month-long celebration beginning tomorrow. And they both say, Geminis rock. All right, and Violet, she lit a candle of joy. She says, I'm happy seeing the Jewish take to the streets and celebrating Israel Day on 5th Avenue in New York City. I wish them love. Shalom. Right on, all right. Meg Wilson, bless her heart, she lit a candle of joy. She says, thank you, Reverend Sean, for a wonderful service and the choir for beautiful music and lyrics. I have tears in my eyes. Aw. Mafonwi K., she also lit a candle of joy, she said, for finding this church. She said, I don't have to sit through hell, fire, and damnation in our church. It's true. And our church is about love, and it's so true. Elizabeth K., one of our teachers in the congregation, she lit a candle of relief because she said, I'm extremely grateful for all of the love and support during this arduous year, and good news, school's out for the summer. And let's see here. Aomawa, she has a big candle of joy. It's a little sad for us, but a big candle of joy. She said, after nearly 4 decades of being in love with the country and language of Italy, I received word that I was selected to be a Fulbright scholar in Italy. She says, our family will live there for 3 months this fall. We will miss the new UU family we have found and look forward to sharing our adventures with you when we return. Awesome. Bring back some good Italian food, okay? Yeah. And Kathleen, our president, just got back from Italy. So we're very happy about that too. All right, Prasan, he lit a candle of joy. He said, happy to be back after spending a few days with Mom in India. She was doing really well. Whew. Yeah. And Susan lit a candle of sorrow. She said it's for her son's sadness and loneliness. And Tony V., she lit a candle of sorrow for receiving life-changing news yesterday. She said, I'm starting a new journey in hopes of healing and prayer. And Carrie A., she also lit a candle of hope, she says, for my mother who is in hospice, praying that she can let go. It is hard not to be there. It's always really hard. All right, let's see here. I want to also mention a few other things. So Kathy L., she would like you to light a candle of joy because she's got an upcoming visit to San Diego to spend time with her daughter and granddaughter. And Denny would like you to light a candle for Hobo. She says, my neighbor's dog. We used to visit every day for a treat, and I miss him. And Heather, she and her wife were here Last week, she said, please light a candle of joy, she said, for continued prayers for IVF journey for my wife and I, and for all the welcoming people we met on our first day of church last week. And V, she would like you to light a candle of sorrow and hope. She says, I'm brokenhearted over the horrendous inhumane conditions in the ICE detention camps, and grateful for the ACLU suing to stop the abuse and the many other Americans digging and working to ensure that these things can't be hidden. Amen. Francie, she would like a candle of joy because her granddaughter Sierra turns 29 tomorrow. She lives in Manhattan and is a joy in Francie's life. And Catherine T., she would like a candle of joy and thanks to her born-again Christian friends who attempts to convert me to their beliefs actually introduced me to UU. All right. I do also have some sad news. Many of you here know Judith Stamper, one of our pastoral care associates. She's not able to be here today. She's in, I think, Arizona, if I remember correctly. But she wanted to let you know that her sister passed away on Friday. It was not a surprise, but she's really grateful that she got to go up and have a family gathering to celebrate her sister last week when her sister was still very lucid. So please hold Judith in your heart. All right, we have one more thing to do because we do have this tradition, and Jim, next year, that will be you, okay, that if you hit 90, we sing happy birthday, right, as a congregation. And we have Bonnie Wagner has, well, we'll just say she's 93. Now, Bonnie can't be here right now. She is, unfortunately, she's homebound, but her daughter is going to play the recording of us singing to her. So I would like to invite you all to join in singing. Bonnie's been a big part of this church for a very long time, and we miss her. All right, let us hold in love all the joys and celebrations. There is one more here, but I'm going to read this as an announcement, just so you know. Let us hold in love all the joys and celebrations and all the hurts and sadness, whether it was spoken or remained silent in our hearts. Let our joys remind us to be thankful, our concerns remind us to hope, and our sorrows remind us to connect. Let all of these moments remind us that we are not alone. Please join Nicole in a spirit of prayer or meditation.
Holy love, make us instruments of your peace. Where there is indifference, may we bring justice. Where there is selfishness, may we bring equity. Where there is apathy, may we bring transformation. Where there is prejudice, may we bring pluralism. Where there is disconnection, may we bring interdependence. Where there is greed, may we bring generosity. And where there is hatred, may we bring love. Make us instruments of your peace, with love at the center of everything we do. Amen.
So I do also have a sorrow to share, which is that Reverend Forest Church did not see my window, which is the best window and the only one worth looking through. And I think if he had seen it, he wouldn't have written that about all the other windows. But regardless, Let us join together as we extinguish the flame of our chalice and say, we extinguish our chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Right. Thank you for joining us this morning. If you are a guest, a visitor, or someone who hasn't yet been known to us, I invite you to become part of this beloved community. If you'd like to know more about our church, we invite you to either stop by the welcome table in the courtyard. It's the blue one. No, there are 3 blue ones. Hold on. It's the one closest to the exit. Wait, no, there's another one. It's the blue one closest to the exit. Or contact us at any of these emails, and we will help you get connected. It says either, but you can do both. We will not come after you. Zoomers are welcome to stay after and chat with one another online. We do want everyone to feel a part of the community, so please reach out, and we will help you get connected. And let's see, announcements. Oh, that's her, okay.
All right, we've got a lot of announcements this morning that I want to say, one of which is that I am going on a summer sabbatical. That actually starts tomorrow, or if you're counting like I am, at about 8 o'clock tonight. But at any rate, no, I will miss you all, but I do need a rest. So I do also want to mention that we've got our annual meeting that's coming up on June 14th. It's the close of our fiscal year. As Unitarian Universalists, a lot of our churches, we do this where our year goes from July to June. And so we have to vote in a new budget, we bring in new officers, all sorts of other fun things happen that day, and you get lunch. So if you're a member, everybody is welcome. Member or friend, you're welcome, but only members get to vote. So make sure you plan to be here a little bit longer after the service on June 14th, so that's 2 weeks from now, okay? The other thing I want to mention, I keep forgetting to do this, I'm going to send out an email when I get home, but I've got a town hall meeting tonight. This is again at the end of what I've been doing is basically the last Sunday of every month. I do a town hall meeting about raising the roof, about our growth, our goals, where we're at, what the different teams are doing, all that sort of thing. You are more than welcome to join. We will also be recording it and will show up in our blast email. The other thing I want to mention, so this is a very nice person put this in here for Joys and Sorrows. So he's asking for, his name is Jose Mejia. And basically there's a 62-year-old disabled man currently living in a recovery program. They are clean, and they're asking if anyone in our congregation may know someone who would be willing to donate a used RV van or car that they can they're willing to do any chores or any types of service. So, and any thoughts or good prayers they would be welcome to. If you have or know anybody who might have something like that, I've got their contact information here. All right, the other thing I want to do is encourage you, so we sang happy birthday to Bonnie. One thing I thought would be really cool, because she can't be here that much, right? So she's in hospice, is go over to the card table, and we're going to have a ton of birthday cards out there, so that if everybody just signs, usually we have one card where everybody just signs for one, right? But we want to send her, inundate her with some cards. So if you could do that, that would be great. Let's see here, a couple other things going on I want to mention. Also, if you're hungry, we've got leftover food from the auction that's going to be in Daniel's Hall. So we had tacos yesterday for our annual auction, or spring auction, and there's food left over. So if you're hungry and you want to get some food, go over there. And I want to say also that I found out that we actually raised a record amount last night of $17,000. Dang, y'all. I think is very cool. So, and then we also want to let you know that there are, let's see, I'll make sure I've got everything here. So yes, also, so there is also a kind of fundraiser that the stewards, so the stewards are the people that actually run our endowment. So we're always trying to raise money for the endowment because it helps last for a really, really long time, right? For anything that we might need in the future. And so what they're doing is, if you notice that some of the bricks that are out there near the pergola have names on them or little quotes or in honor of. And so they're actually, what we want to do is take all of those bricks and actually put someone's name or favorite saying or happy thought to leave for the future, whatever you would like. And the new bricks will be installed once they've been sold. And they do have, I guess they have a limited number of bricks available, so you got to order yours today. I believe that they're asking for a contribution of $300 to the endowment fund. It goes specifically to the endowment fund. So if that's something that's interest to you, you want to contact the stewards, which is easy. It's stewards@ocuuc.org, or simply ask any board member and they'll be able to point you in the right direction. So, okay, I think that's it. Did I miss anything else? All right. Then, my last words to you all before I go out on sabbatical is enjoy that sunshine in all the ways that it comes to you. Because seeds need sunshine to grow. So go out there and plant the seeds this summer, and I will see you in September. So please join in singing.